Gelebor, you promised me answers. What can you tell me about Auriel's bow?
The bow was said to be carried by Auriel himself into battle against the forces of Lorkhan in ancient and mythic times. Its craftsmanship has no equal anywhere within Tamriel, and possibly beyond.
I see. Well, if it is so special, what can it do?
The bow draws its power from Aetherius itself, channeling it through the sun. Therefore, when an arrow is loosed from the bow, it produces a magical effect very similar to being burned by fire.
Sounds powerful. Dangerous for ones weak to the sun.
That's actually only a fraction of its potential. With sun-hallowed arrows, you would be able to produce a much more spectacular effect, causing bursts of sunlight to envelop your foes. The sunbursts would certainly hurt anything, but is especially devastating to the undead.
I see. The author said something about using blood.
Well, using an arrow with the bow that's been dipped in blood may cause it to function differently, corrupting its purpose. That's, of course, if you're foolish enough to try it.
Corruption. I see. What of your betrayed? Can they ever be cured? Brought back from where they are now?
I feel nothing but sympathy for the betrayed, despite my actions against them. But I'm afraid that they're well beyond a cure at this point.
I see. But why?
The twisted forms you've seen didn't occur overnight. It isn't a plague or a disease that ravaged our species. The dwarves may have stolen their sight, but it took many generations for them to become what they are today.
I see. So there's no hope for them then?
Perhaps they'll never return to their former appearance. But over the centuries, I've noticed a rise in their intellect. If a line of communication could be established with them, maybe they can find peace. It's the only way they'll discover that they weren't always malignant. They were once a proud and prosperous race.
They were. So then, what will happen to your chantry now?
While it would fill me with joy to see the chantry back to its former glory, that time has long since passed. Now that my brother's dead, it's quite possible I'm the last of our kind.
Yes. I apologize then. I have contributed to your kind's extinction.
There's no need for that kind of talk. I said it was possible. It's also quite possible that there are some other isolated conclaves of snow elves nestled elsewhere on Nirn. I'll also assume Verther didn't exactly give you the option to stay your hand.
No, he did not. What will you do then? Will you stay? You could use someone with your talents. Skyrim, Nirn is in danger.
For the time being, I will remain here on the Overlook and continue trying to keep the Sanctum free of the betrayed. You're always welcome to return here at any time, of course.
My thanks, Gelebor. I'll return to my companions, and then we'll make leave. I thank you for your assistance. I wish you well in the days to come, and should we fail in our endeavors, may your soul find peace. Farewell.
Farewell, friend. May the light of Auriel illuminate your darkest hours.
We might just need that. Well then, what do we do now?
I think we both know. It's time to face my father. If we don't, he'll keep chasing us for the rest of our lives.
If we do, you'll have to realize your father will need to die. The man cannot be reasoned with.
I've been thinking about this for a long time. It's not easy.
I know.
But I don't think we have much of a choice. No, this has to end here and now.
You won't need to fight this fight alone. We'll face it together. All of us. We're in it from the start, and we shall see it through till the end.
If we head back to the castle and kick the front door in, we're gonna be knee-deep in his friends. Let's head back to Isran and let him see what we've got first. I'm betting he'll lend us a sword or two.
Perhaps. After all he's put you through, you still seek help from him. Very well. It shall be done. All right. You'll hurt Serana. You know what we will face. We know what we must do. We shall make haste towards Fort Dawnguard, to Isran. We will ask for his help, for storming Castle Volkihar with the four of us while fun would put us in early graves. We shall need their might to aid us. Whatever motives they may have, we must stick to our own. It is time to return to our home. We rode as fast, but as discreetly as we could, avoiding the main roads. We were still wanted, and with many enemies, both living and dead, could not afford to stop. But as we continued to ride, the skies began to turn. Dry thunderstorms raged across the plains and mountains of Skyrim, an omen, to be sure, of what was to come. We sense no trouble, but we have been gone for some time. I hope he has been preparing. I hope they're ready. No doubt, Harkin and the others have attacked. They were probing, trying their best. As of last, they had no way in, no way through. I can only hope that that still holds. Wildlife is too plentiful. And friendly enough. Not many hunters in these woods. I smell no smoke. I see no flame. A good sign, one would think. And there it is. The one place left in Skyrim we aren't vilified. Well, some of us. I hope we can convince them, Serana. I hope you're right. Should he see our wisdom, we'll be strong together. Close now. Not many on the walls. Still, they hold. Hail! We have news for Isran. Sounds like they're still training. Good. We'll need to be ready. Good day. No more bodies. A fine sign indeed. Or could mean that your father is preparing. No more skirmishes. He's ready for war. Skyrim is seeing enough war as it is. hear us today, Isran, or else you shall fail. Dimmer than normal. I'll speak to him first. Don't antagonize him if you can. And that goes for you, Inigo.
Agreed.
Very well. Isran, you have returned. We must speak.
The bow. You have Auriel's bow.
I
heard it described in tales, but I could never have imagined its beauty.
It was not easy. We succeeded. Look, we need your help. You sought these two out. You sent me to find them. You know what they are capable of. And I hope I have proven to you what I am capable of. Serana has been nothing but helpful to our efforts. If she sought to betray us, she would have long before now. She had the chance, but she refused it. She has gifted us this bow. We need your help, and the help of the Dawnguard, Isran.
Indeed. The day hasn't been won while Harkon still walks Tamriel. But what of Serana? Can she be trusted to lift a blade against her own kind, her own family?
I have spoken to her on this. Much we have talked. She has sworn to me, and I am sworn to her. She will do what needs to be done. I trust her to do the right thing.
I suppose that's as much as I can hope for. Let me address the Dawnguard and then we'll be off. The men deserve to know that we've finally gained the upper hand.
Yes.
Everyone, gather round. Come on then, we haven't got all day.
Hail. It's good to see you all again. I wish it was under better circumstances, but these are as good as it gets. Are we waiting on anyone else? Stragglers. Members of the Dawnguard. I would speak before Isran. There are trying days to come. We have an enemy that is older than all here. But age does not beget strength, and we are strong. I have seen the seemingly impossible overcome time and time again since my arrival in Skyrim. No task is beyond us when we fight together, when we think together. I have spoken enough. Isran, my apologies.
For too long, we've allowed these vampires to poison the night and kill our people. Now, we finally have the means to strike back. We now have Auriel's bow. The gods themselves have favored us, and we must answer with action. The time has come to finally put an end to Harkon and his unholy prophecy. We will march on their lair and destroy those wretched abominations so they can no longer corrupt our world. This is our fight, and this is our fate. This is the time of the Dawnguard!
Kill the abominations!
This is it!
Between the eyes for me! Send the troll
prophecy
after
is
them.
no more.
It's time we take the fight to their door. Gather your things and rest well, my friend. We meet outside Castle Volkihar.
Good. I wish you well, Isran. Be careful in your travels. We know not what waits for us. Your men are prepared, as are we. I wish you well in your travels.
Watch your back.
Aye. They prepare to leave. We should prepare also. I would have words with the priest before we leave. I owe him that much. A moment. Daxion, my friend, your work has been invaluable. We are here today because of you. We now march against the Volkihar. Your contribution, your sacrifice, will not be wasted. It will shake your hand once again when this is all done. Farewell. All right. The others are preparing, and so should we. We have the bow ready. Good. Collect everything and anything you might need. Armor, weapons, provisions. We ready ourselves for war. A swift and decisive war. One that we can win. Because of you.
Oh, what is it?
Verther. What he said about the bow. The vampiric blood. What did he mean? What is its purpose?
It sounds like... that's the last bit of the prophecy. The blood of a daughter of Cold Harbor can corrupt the bow.
Your blood. You're a daughter of Cold Harbor.
So I am. I guess we could use my blood. Do you have any arrows? Elven arrows? I'm not going to just bleed on any old thing.
We do, but I'm not going to take your blood, Serana. You need not worry.
Oh, all right then.
There's no other way for me to say this. What we're about to do, facing your family, your father. Are you ready? This will not be an easy task.
I don't think you can ever be ready to kill your parent. I'm doing my best to not think of him as my father anymore.
Good. He is not Serana. No father would do the things that he has done. The atrocities, the hardship, the abuse. You deserved better. And I wish you had it. Although without you, we wouldn't be here today. We might be on the losing side of this. Let me know if you need anything, if I can help. I'm always here to talk.
We've got enough to worry about right now. You stay focused, and I'll worry about me.
Aye. Very well. That is all for now. I'll meet you all by the entrance. You must be ready. This will be the last chance to prepare before we leave. We shall be on our way to Castle Volkihar. Spies of Harkon troubled us along the way. Not for long. We slew them all. Continued to our goal. The strength of the Dawnguard had been mustered. We marched onwards to Volkihar. With our speed, we would be one of the first to arrive, the others not to the dawn. And that was when we would strike. They would have their last night. Tomorrow this ended. Hearken, this prophecy, all of it. I hoped that this would set Serana free. But I'm troubled by what it might do to her. No daughter should have to end their life with their father. If I could allow her respite from that, if I could be the one to do it, then I would. We made camp to wait for the others, to prepare, ready ourselves. It had been long since I had waited on the eve of a battle. It brought me back to my younger years in the Legion. I felt the same nerves in my stomach, the turmoiling serpents. We all found our own way to cope. Arissa leading, Serana watching over the horses, and myself talking to my good friend. You know so much about me, about my past, but I know little of you, Inigo. Would you enlighten me?
My brother and I never knew our real parents. We were found abandoned in a smelly shack by a soldier on his way to battle. We melted his heart with our fuzzy little faces, and he carried us to the nearest town. He deposited us at an orphanage, and that is where we spent most of our childhood.
I did not know you had a brother. Lucky to have the kindness of that soldier. A fateful encounter, no doubt.
My brother and I were adopted by a couple of retired assassins. I guess the orphanage did not do a family background check.
I would assume so. Assassins. Surely that would have made for an interesting upbringing.
Mine was perhaps a little more unconventional than most, but I suppose all childhoods are interesting to some degree. My parents provided me with love and encouragement. Apart from the nightly training sessions, we were a normal family.
Nightly training sessions. Well, from what little I know of my father, he was good with a sword. There must be more to your tale.
I was bullied by the other Khajiit children because of my unusual color and markings. My mother showed me a handy trick with a rock and a glove. I was never bothered again.
And I'm sure they got exactly what they deserved.
Yes, bullies should not be tolerated. They soon learned that being different is not a weakness.
Aye. We all have our differences, don't we? And they seem to make us stronger. I'm coming to accept some of my differences. How then did you learn to fight as you do today?
My father showed my brother and I how to use a sword. My mother taught us the bow. Happy childhood memories.
What did it say? Where were you growing up?
I grew up in Riverhold, not far from Cyrodiil. My brother and I headed for the Imperial City to find our fortune when we came of age. I found love, for a time at least. My brother found death.
Death? I'm sorry, my friend. I did not know. I'm glad that you have known love.
Well, now that I think about it, maybe it was not love. It was brief and, as it turned out, one-sided. Anyway, all that happened later.
Later? Then your brother was before.
I will come to that soon. There is a little more to hear first.
I see. Go on then.
My mother and father are both gone. They died protecting a trading caravan a few years back. I guess I am an orphan again.
I'm sorry to hear that, my friend. I truly am. My own mother passed some time ago. And my father... Well, my father is nothing more than a distant memory to me. I know nothing more than his own name. The only token of memory I have from him. And I'll sit at the bottom of the sea of ghosts. Out there, amongst the cool waves. To have lost them twice is not fair. Truly am sorry for your loss. What were they like? These retired assassins of yours?
I suppose they were a bit of an odd couple, being an Argonian and a Khajiit, but they adored each other. And us. Despite their previous profession, they were good people.
I'm sure they were. You're good, my friend. One of the best I've had the pleasure of knowing.
My brother and I found much work as sellswords. We never made it to the Imperial City, but we made a lot of coin.
I'm sure you would have. The children of assassins. The skills you would have learned, well, it would have put you ahead of the competition. What kind of jobs did you do exactly?
A bit of giant killing here, a bit of witch slaying there. We took gold when it was offered, but sometimes we worked for nothing. It is hard to deny those in need whether they have coin or not. We made more than enough from those who could pay anyway.
It was truly noble of you. Where did those travels take you?
All over Cyrodiil, from the Gold Coast to the Gerald Mountains. It is a wonderful land, but quite tame compared to Skyrim.
Aye.
Those were happy times, traveling or working during the day, camping out under the stars at night. Life was good.
I understand that. I have many memories of Cyrodiil myself. I might have known you in another time.
I awoke one morning to a lot of noise outside our tent. My brother staggered in, bleeding, and pushed our father's sword into my hand. He said that if I loved him, I would run. He used the last of his strength to rip out the back of the tent and push me down the slope beyond. Some Khajiit-hating locals had blamed us for a spate of robberies in the area and had decided to take the matter into their own hands. 12 of them had snuck up on us in the night. My brother died, but I live because of him.
12. My friend, I'm sorry. Your brother was noble. As are you. I know you, Inigo. If we would not have forced your hand, you would have stood and fought. What was his name? This brother of yours. I'd be honored to know it and speak it.
His name was Fergus. I miss him very much, but part of me is glad he did not witness what became of me after his passing.
What became after? If Fergus could see you today, he would be proud. But losing him in that way, in such a violent fashion, I'm sure he knew it would change you irrevocably. You can't blame yourself, and I don't think he would either.
Maybe you are right. It is a nice thought, but I suppose I will never know.
No, we can never question those who have passed on. They're outside our reach.
I was recruited by a group of bandits a few years ago. That is when I discovered skooma. It was the beginning of a lot of nastiness.
Skooma. I see. I'm sorry that it drove you to that.
I was with a bandit girl for a while. Turns out she was using me. She wanted protection, not affection. As soon as she found someone more psychopathic, I was dropped like a sack of troll dung.
A scorned lover too. You have quite the tale, don't you? Did you love her?
I thought I did. We dulled each other's pain somewhat. She seemed like the only bright thing in a very dark place.
Yeah.
Regrettably, she was a vicious, manipulative harpy.
You're better off, my friend.
I left the bandits and took the only ally I had with me. He was also an addict, but we thought we had it under control. His name was Felix. He was a big fellow, good in his scrap. We became mercenaries together.
Felix?
After a few months, Felix and I had made a little gold, but our addiction to skooma was getting in the way. No one trusts an addict, my friend. Especially not another addict.
Yes. It would have strained on you both over time.
There is not much to tell. He never spoke about his past, but it was clear he had also been through a great deal before becoming a bandit. That life did not seem to suit him. He had been an educated man at some point, I am sure of it. He was violent, but he had retained some dim vestige of honor. I wish we had met under different circumstances.
I'm sure you do.
One day, Felix burst into my chamber. Instinct took over and I reacted. His murder was my second-to-last step on the road of dishonor. Trying to kill you was my last. My journal tells the rest. Read it if you want. I do not enjoy speaking of these things.
I know.
That is my story. Not a happy one, but maybe the happy stuff is still to come.
Exactly. This is not the end of your tale. Tomorrow will just be another exciting chapter. We have many more days together, my friend. Many more battles to fight. When we're both old and grey, we'll look back on these days of old, and we'll listen as they sing the songs of our victories. Sounds good, doesn't it? Thank you for sharing, Inigo. I never expected to find this form of companionship again. We should rest. We have an early start. Tomorrow is the day of our battle. Tomorrow the light will touch Volkihar. Tomorrow Harken shall burn.